Up until this point, I have only been building traditional houses in Paralives, but anyone who knows me knows I love creating fantasy-inspired builds. I love occult stuff, give me supernatural, give me whimsy, I want all of it. The only problem is that as of right now, Paralives doesn't have any occult themes in it, but I'm here to change that. So I went ahead and I made a mood board for this Paralives build. I'm thinking we do like a pastel rainbow vibe with dreamlike decor for the inside and the outside, and then I found this Minecraft house that has this rainbow roofing going on. So I want to try and recreate that kind of roofing, but in Paralives. So this is the lot that we're going to be building on. It's actually located right next to the Castle Plaza, which has like the library and the museum here. So I figured this would be the perfect spot for our fantasy build. This is also such a long lot. I really like that in Paralives, all of the lot shapes can be different. Like this one I found, the actual lot goes out on an angle, so they're not all just square or rectangle lots. Okay, so starting off with our shell, I'm going to be working with the grid on today, and I think I want to start by making a tower in the back. So I'm going to be building an octagonal room, so we'll just finish it up like that. Then I'm going to click on the room and we're going to add another floor, and I think I'll do one more floor on top of that as well. From there, I think we're going to take it out this way. We can do a little bump out right here. I'll just bring this in like that, and I want this to be pretty big because I want to clutter today. I've been holding off trying to learn the basics of building in Paralives, but not today. Today, I want to clutter as much as possible. Okay, so far we have a bottom floor. I'm gonna keep going up, and I essentially want to have the same shape going along the top floor too. I do think I'll leave that side part open though on the bottom floor. Okay, so our second floor is done. I do want to raise up the wall height on the bottom floor a little bit, but then I also want to go one more floor up for a third floor. So right now our shell looks like that. I want to add in some wallpaper, so for right now I'm just gonna use this beige color. I think it's just like a stone wallpaper, but I think I'll actually bring some pink onto this main part here. A building feature I'm trying to get used to in Paralives is the foundation feature, because to do it you actually have to click on the room in the middle, and then you can use this arrow here to bring up and down the flooring. But when you do bring up the flooring, you actually create this separation between the walls on the bottom floor. So you can see now I have this little strip here, and then on there I can go in and add my wallpaper for the foundation. And I also noticed recently you can delete the bottom part of the stairs, so there's an option to get rid of it, and I think this might be new. I think they just added this feature in an update. I'm thinking about compiling all of the build tips that I've learned in early access so far and making a build tip video about it, so make sure you guys let me know if you want to see that, and subscribe if you want Paralives build tips. But for now, I'm also going to add some fencing up top here. I want a lot of details on this thing, so I'm going to go in and add some molding, and I want it to be on every floor. So what I'm going to do is hold shift and click on the floor that I want it to go on, and that'll apply it to the entire thing. So far so good, but I think now it's time to roof it, and we'll start out easy. I want to roof the tower part first. So I'm actually going to take this roofing. It kind of looks like a little witch hat, and I'm going to add that on here and pull it across. I actually also learned that if you hold shift on your keyboard, you can move the adjusters, and that'll bring in both sides. So you're going to have something even, and that way you'll have nice symmetrical adjustments going on. I want to change the roofing pattern. So under the paint category, you can find different roof paint types. I think for now I'll go with the brown, and then I'll do a beige roof trim. Then I want to add another piece on top of there so I can adjust a little more. So I'm going to take this different roof piece. I'll place it right on top where I had the other one, holding Alt on my keyboard for accuracy, and then I can bring this up so we're going to have a different sort of shape happening. I really just want this flat part to be a little bit more prominent. Perfect. My para is so creepy in the background. I just noticed her standing there. She's literally on the edge of a cliff. Like literally, what are you doing? Okay, let's start the rainbow roofing. I'm gonna try out this roof type today. I'm gonna adjust it so it's gonna snap right onto that corner, and then I'm gonna pull it across so it reaches the other edge. Then holding Alt on my keyboard, I'm gonna bring in this arrow, and I want it to be a nice skinny piece so that I have 6 of them all the way across this part of the roof. And then I can come back into Illustrator to my mood board, grab the eyedropper tool, and I'm gonna start picking colors of the rainbow here. You don't need Illustrator for this, by the way. I literally came onto Pinterest and looked up pastel rainbow color palette, and a bunch of them popped up. Some of them even have the hex codes already. So all you would have to do is input that into the Paralives color wheel, and that would change it to whatever color you want. So now I'm just going to repeat that all the way along, just grabbing the next color, copying the hex code, and adding it into the color wheel. And I'm just gonna keep doing that until I have all of them covering this entire portion. I finished off the rainbow part, and then for the rest I just used these regular like beige roofing pieces. Just because I didn't want it to be too crazy, I wanted to keep that as the main feature. I did restart a little bit over here, but next I think we're going to add windows. I've had my eye on these arched ones. I really want to try these out. So I'm going to place that there at the front, but I want this to cover a lot of it. I really wish I could pull this all the way up into the roofing, but I'm going to bring it to there, I guess. Maybe I'll keep it underneath the trim, and I want it to be white, so I'll go like that. As I go along, I've also been alt placing my columns on the corners, and I've been pulling them all the way up so they're sitting right below the trim. I'm going to do another same sized window on this side. I also noticed that since there's so much freedom with the windows, once you match the height of another window nearby, it'll light up. So I know that this one is at the same height as that one. And I think for the windows on the tower, I'm going to change it up. So I'm using these ones, and I've changed over the swatch of the frame interior and the grille so they match the beige roofing. I'm alt placing these columns all the way around the back, and I think I want to try out these arched windows here too. I made a custom swatch so they match the other windows that I made, and I want them to be up in this top roofing part. As of right now, I can't easily place my windows there, but what I can do is add them right here. I can click on it, and then I can open up the toggle advanced transform tool. I found that if there's anything you can't currently do in Paralives, you can use this tool to get around it, and then you can use the tool to bring it up into that roofing spot. And the more I'm learning how to use it, the more helpful it really is. I'm adding this window over to the side, and now for the front door. I found this one is called Baldur's Door. I'm a big Baldur's Gate fan, so I'm using this one. I feel like it just has that whimsical cottage look. But then for the top floor, I want to use a different door, so I just matched the colors to this one. Now we also have a little bit of contrast. I'm working on this back patio part here, so I'm going to add my stairs and bring them across. I'm going to use the same door that I used for my balcony, and I'll add that here in the back. And making that extra space opened up another roofing spot. So I'm just going to add a half gabled roof piece onto that spot right there. And then I'll just adjust it to make sure it fits. Okay, so far so good, but I want to take this one step further. I know we have this star lamp. It's in the clutter category under the miscellaneous decor. I want to take this and put it onto my roofing, which I can easily do. I'll place it right there, and then I'm going to click on it and make it bigger. So we're going to have a big star point on the roofing, but then I want those stars to kind of wrap around the roofing as well. So I'm also going to take them and I'm going to rotate them so they're going to look like they're spinning and getting bigger in size, wrapping around this roofing piece. This is super easy to do. I can basically just add them wherever I want on this roofing. And like, how cute is this gonna look? They look like little Lucky Charms. Yeah, it's official. Paralives can be whimsy confirmed. How cute. Plus they light up at nighttime. That is adorable. This actually got me thinking it would be really easy to add things like plants up here on your roofing if you wanted to do like an overgrown look. I'm easily just adding these in. I don't want to take away from the pretty rainbow roofing that I made, but this is good to know. On that note, I do know I want vines going up the side of my house, so I'm gonna place them, make them bigger, and I think I'll add quite a few of these too, just like going up the sides. I love being able to resize these. It's so satisfying. And I'm pretty much gonna be putting this wherever I didn't add a window. You can bunch them together and add them in different sizes so it doesn't look too pattern-like. I want some terrain paint going around the side, and I think today is the day that we really go overboard with the landscaping. So let me just bring this terrain paint all the way to the edge. You'll notice too, this lot isn't actually flat. There's a lot of different terrain happening here, but you can really only tell when you turn to the side because I've been building just fine on top of all of this bumpy terrain. I think right here at the front, I want to make a nice bordered in garden, and I want to use these rocks to do it. So I'm going to be placing them, and then I'm going to be adjusting the size. I'll rotate them so again, they don't look too patterny, and I'll just keep going around with this until I've bordered in the garden. I also noticed that there are these stepping stones, so you could put these together and make your own little path with those. So now that I've got a nice border happening, I can go in and add my plants. I have always had a good time landscaping in games, but I genuinely find this so much fun. Something about the resizing and making them fit perfectly is so satisfying. I also went in and copied all of the color swatches from the rainbow roofing that I used, and I added them onto this plant. That way everything is going to be super cohesive. All of my plants are gonna match. And another thing I love is you can make your own window boxes. So I'm gonna add these. I want them to be going off of those arched windows there. So again, I'm gonna place it right underneath, bring it to the width that I want it, and I'll use the toggle tool to bring it up like this. And then I can go in and place all of my little rainbow plants, and they're going to perfectly match the roofing situation. And now I have a custom rainbow planter. I'm gonna add one more roofing detail. I'm adding these and bringing it up into the point. Then for any of the spots I don't feel like landscaping, we have the 3D terrain paint we can use. So I can easily fill in any spots that I haven't landscaped with that. Same thing with the trees. I just went in and added some more of the pastel custom swatches. So I'm gonna add a pink tree right here at the front, but then I'm gonna go along the side of the house with them and they're gonna slowly get a little bit bigger. And I changed them again to match the pastel color. But when I did this, I also realized you could make a gradient. So like I can go in and change the bottom of this tree and that created a shadowing. So you could do two different colors if you wanted. I'll add a blue one here in the back. And I always like to add a little something underneath all of my trees too, which is so simple. I can just go in and add some grass. In the backyard, I recently found this pergola. We're gonna add this right here. And I wanna make this into a really cute space. So I'm gonna add this barrel here. There are these wooden blocks we can add by it. There's this wheel. I could put this against one of the posts. And then around here and in the garden, I wanna start adding some of these little lanterns. So I'm gonna put these right here. I wanna add some plants on the edge and maybe also some little candles. I think for a skill item, I'm gonna add an easel out here. I also just found this stump table. I feel like that would be fun. I'm gonna add that here by the wheel. And I wanna add little potted plants here too. There are also some nice wooden benches I could add. So I think I'll add that in between these two tables here. And then on there's blanket clutter I could add. There are also pillows I could put on here too, like this little duck pillow. I'm adding that out here. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller though. I also just found out you could add your own custom art onto a pillow. Similar to how the wall decor works, you can add your own picture and you could even upload your own art on there if you wanted, like my Sims 4 base game art that I have now in my game. I think all I'm gonna do is just add a couch right here. I will add some other decorative pillows on here. There's also another blanket that just goes over the armrest and I'm using the toggle advance tool so I can really line it up perfectly on the couch. I love that you can kind of customize your own couches. Like we just took this boring basic couch and easily made it look so much cozier. Ooh, I also just found this really cool bar cart, but for now I'm just adding the bar cart over here. And this is where I can add all of my paint supplies. I can add my brushes, maybe some extra paints here. I also found this cute garden table I'm gonna add out here, and I'll add a few chairs here as well. So after everything, this is how our backyard space turned out. It's a nice cozy space. I like how the lighting looks back here too. We've got a skill item, there's something to do. We have our little table. I added some plants and another star lamp on there. And I like that from here you can see the ruins in the background. Okay, so this is how our fantasy build in Paralives turned out. I think it turned out so cute. I love the rainbow roofing. I added a few more details like the stars going around the path at the bottom. I also added some cute balcony spaces. So there are cute little spots for Para to come sit. And so far so good. I feel like we've achieved the whimsical, the dreamlike vibe. Now we have to tackle the interior. So one thing I know I want to change about the interior is the fact that you can see the flooring through this window. You can really see it through the back window, like you can see where each flooring separates. I want to get rid of that, and to do that we're gonna have to get rid of some of this flooring. So I'm gonna go in and grab the wall separator tool and I'm gonna build a shape coming out like this. That way I should be able to just go in and delete this flooring here, except I'm noticing that doing that deleted this roofing as well. So we're gonna go undo. I'm gonna keep that flooring separated, but I'm gonna grab the separator tool again. This time I'm just gonna page down and separate that room that's causing the problem. And now when we go back and delete this, we should be keeping the roofing. I feel like this is also how you can make things like loft apartments in Paralives. I want to do it again over here with these windows, so I feel like the best way to do it would just be to diagonal off that spot. Then we can delete the flooring, and I'm gonna add that same fence right here. I'm really hoping I don't have any problems up here when I try and do it to the top floor. Okay, no, we're good. So now when we look in that front window, we're not gonna see the flooring. I feel like it will make things a little more complicated for our layout though, so we're gonna go in with our stairs. And I think I'm gonna put the stairs right here for now. We'll make a wall right here. That can be a bathroom. And then I want some separation like this, but I'm gonna go in and use some archways to separate the room. Ooh, interesting. Okay, I haven't used these ones yet, but I can raise them all the way up to the top of the wall height. And I feel like this might be a good way to get around spandrels. In the early access stage, Paralives does not have any spandrel system, but I feel like you could use these and get away with it, and you can also adjust them. This could be a really good exterior option. I do think I'm gonna make them a little bit shorter though, because I do want to add molding on the interior. This is an option I was so excited about. I can just hold shift and that will apply to the entire room. I'm gonna be doing it everywhere. It's gonna add such a nice detail. I'll add a wall here with an archway right there, and I feel like I could make that into my kitchen. So kitchen, we can do dining on the first floor. Maybe we can do a grand seating area here with like a piano and a bathroom. I'm also gonna add some stairs going this way leading up, and then in the back I'm going to make a bedroom. I made another bedroom in the back, so we'll have 2 bedrooms on this floor, and then upstairs, I don't know what this is gonna be, maybe a library. Okay, I've done all of my flooring and wallpaper. Now we can go in and furnish. I think I want to start out with the dining room, and I want to start here because I've already been dabbling into the custom content in Paralives, and downloading custom content in Paralives is so easy, and there's already so much stuff out there. The things I downloaded were from the official Paralives team. Like I downloaded this Rococo bedroom item set, which has a lot of the regal stuff that I'm looking for, but there are tons of different mods, custom build items, and paramaker stuff already on this team workshop. I'm trying not to go too overboard with downloading custom content just yet. I'm only getting like the official Paralives stuff because it's in early access. I really don't want to break my game by accident by like downloading all this stuff yet, but I just know people are gonna have so much fun with that. I made a big table. I'm going in and using these regal looking chairs. We can add a chandelier on top. I would also love to add some interior columns, so I'm just gonna add those in. And I also know I'm gonna want to have some big curtains here, so I'm gonna add some up top, just up here like this, and then I'm gonna bring them across so they're not covering the window, and we can drag that all the way from the top floor down to the bottom floor. Does anyone else feel like they kind of have like a muscle memory going on in this game? I keep finding myself like holding shift, for example, on my keyboard to copy things, which is completely unnecessary. It's just something I'm used to. I want to also add a bar cart in the corner. This hanging plant has been going off of everything. On the bar cart, I could maybe add a salt and pepper shaker. Ooh, I also want to add a tea set. So maybe let me put this out here for a second. I can add the barrel and put it right here. And this is where I can add my tea set clutter. I think I might make a whole tray. So I'm going to add that there and shrink it. And then I could add this stack of teacups. Above this, I could add a mirror and I could make this bigger. And I also really like that once you place clutter on top of an object, if you want to move the entire object, you can do that. You don't have to move things one by one. Everything you've placed will come with it. I'm also able to place vines on the interior. And if you click on the miscellaneous menu, you can open up different vine options. I kind of just realized this. I didn't really do this outside, but that's another way you can make it look a little less patterny. And I want to bring this over top of the archway leading into my kitchen. So I'm going to play around with some different ones. Same goes for this one here. When you open it up, there are different options you can play with. So now we have a vine wall leading into the kitchen. I have been trying to think of a good way to get more art into my game. Because like I said before, you can upload your own art, but I don't really feel like I should just be downloading it randomly off the internet. I was thinking maybe it could be cool if people submitted their art and I could put that in the game. Like I feel like that would be fun. I could make my own art. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I'm just adding a little bit more decor in the dining room. I found this grandfather clock I can place in the corner. I could place some newspaper here. Maybe someone's reading the paper at the table. And what does it say? Who is Mustache Man? That's the good question. Okay, so far this is our dining room. Definitely planty, definitely giving that whimsical feel. And I really like those windows showing so much of the outside. Okay, let's move into the kitchen next. I have given myself the most awkward shape to work with for a kitchen, but let's see if I can work around it. I can do a counter here. I'll add my oven right there. And I have not had the chance to use these floral curtains yet, and I've been really wanting to try them. So I'm gonna use these for my curtains. And then I'm thinking to offset this awkward corner, I'm gonna add a table, which would look so cute with some little bread baskets on it, maybe some other kitchen clutter. And then right beside it, we can add a plant that will take up a lot of space. Above the fridge, I'm gonna add these shelves. And up there, I can add a bunch of kitchen clutter. I'm completely filling it up, and I like that there's a lot of different cottagecore options for the kitchen clutter. So that shelf is looking nice and full. I could potentially add another counterpiece right here, and then we could do a stand-up sink in the corner. I think that'll work. I'm gonna add a cute little sunflower picture. I need a trash can, and why not add a stump table with a fruit tray on it? Okay, our kitchen is looking so cute, so cluttered, but there was one thing that was bugging me, and it was looking at it from this angle, like from the dining room, I don't like how when you look in there, you just see the back of the counter, and that's kind of all you see from here. So I think what I want to do is decorate it. I'm gonna add this planter, and I'm gonna have it so it's just peeking out the back of the cabinet, and then in there I can go in and add my own little flowers. I'm gonna fill this whole thing up. So now when I look at it from here, I see the planter instead of the back of the boring cabinet, and it looks really cute there in our kitchen. I'm really liking how this is turning out so far. Okay, I'm gonna go from here. Let's do the bathroom, and I think the first thing we have to do is add some curtains to these windows. I want to use this bathtub, but I don't like whatever is going on at the bottom of it. I thought it was clipping with the floor, but I feel like that might be like leftover water, which I don't love, but I do really like the shape of this. So okay, I am gonna use this bathtub. The layout is a tiny bit awkward with all of the windows in this bathroom, but I feel like this is gonna work, and I feel like we could use a big shelf in this area. So I connected these two, and then in there I'm gonna go in and add a bunch of bathroom clutter. Like we can put our shampoo and conditioner in here, some extra soap, little moisturizers. This feels like one of those unpacking games where I'm trying to just put everything in its place. And I love how tiny I can make the plants so they fit into spaces like this. So there's my super cluttered bathroom shelving. We still need a bath mat. I need some more plants in this room. And there we have our bathroom. Around the front door, I think I'm gonna add some more greenery. I think we could also use some fancy seating here. So I just changed the swatch of this chair, and I'm gonna add two of them right here by the door. We can add a lamp here. I'm adding a big mirror. One of those wooden benches could be good somewhere too, maybe under the stairs. And I think somewhere I want to add a big grand piano. I definitely have the room for it, so I think I might put it back here. The only thing with this window being so big is it is glitching on the bottom floor, which sucks. I wish I could see the detail of it. So for right now, this is the front entry area. We put the seating, some plants, and the mirror. And then over here, I have the piano area. So I added a couch in the background with some blankets and pillows. We've also got the bench underneath the stairs, and Para could play the piano here. Now I want to work on some of the bedrooms, and this is where we could use one of the fancy new beds that I downloaded. Like this one in this swatch is so pretty. I just moved it over so I could use this table here. We can add some wall decor over the bed. I'll add a picture over the dresser. I did also find a sword which could work for our fantasy theme. I'm adding a mirror and also this old clock, and I also want to decorate in this room with some poofs. I like these because right now they're not functional, but you can use them as tables. So I could add bedroom clutter like slippers on top. There's also this bag, which is like an older looking bag. I feel like that's kind of cool with these suitcases. I could also use this here as a table, and on there I could add a little TV. On this wall I could add a bigger dresser, and I'm gonna add some skill items in here too. I feel like I need more cloud related things in this room, so I'm going in and using these. These are little night lights, and I'm just adding them around in the room. I think I want this one to be messy, so I'm also adding some book clutter on the ground. It's funny because I thought I loved clutter before this game. Now I will just never be stopped. Oh, I also want to add the moonlight in here, so I'm gonna move my TV over a tiny bit. Maybe I can shrink this a little too, and I'll just put that right there by the TV. Okay, so now we have a very messy bedroom. We definitely have that fantasy element with the sword, the cat picture, the sun decor. I think I want to do the other bedroom right after this one. In this bed as well, if we wanted to go for more of a cottagecore, this bed has a nice rustic wooden headboard. I'm gonna change the color of the sheets. This way I can add in the stump end tables. I could do a double moon lamp, or we could do one moon with the star on this side. I'm gonna add a shelf above the bed. Oh, I think this is a crystal ball. Probably would not be a good idea to put above your bed. It looks like it's about to roll right off, but I'm sure it'll be fine. This room still needs a dresser, so I'm gonna add one right here. In this room, we could also use the vine string pictures. And I just found this really cute duck candle. I added a chair in the corner, and then I think I'm just gonna add in some art. I also think having this bench at the end of the bed would be nice. I could add some pillows on there too. And there we have our second bedroom. I like that in build mode, you can just go Control H, and then you can get rid of the UI if you're really trying to look at it. I thought I had to enter camera mode to see this, but it's a super easy way to get rid of it if you want to. Okay, I think I'm gonna skip ahead and go upstairs because I really want to do the library next. And since there's roofing on both sides of these walls, that means I can add bookshelves along the entire thing. I do wish there was some variation with these. Oh, there is. Okay, great. So I can add an empty shelf. I thought I was gonna have to just keep using the same one, but I can fill this up on my own, and that way all of the shelves will look different. So yeah, I want to wrap these around this whole thing like this. I also just realized that since my bookshelves aren't quite going where I want them to go, I can open up the toggle tool and and I can use it to completely shrink these as small as I want it to be. That way I don't have to overlap my bookshelves. I can have them fit perfectly into the wall. That's a game changer. Similarly, if I wanted it to stretch all the way across, I could do that. I'm just constantly shocked by how much freedom you have in this game. So now I can just go in and fill all of my shelves up with books. I'm also adding and sizing up some vines over top of the bookshelves. I'm adding an egg chair in this corner, and I'm also adding plants and other whimsical decor all over the bookshelf. I haven't even jumped into the Halloween decor yet, but there are skulls we can add. There are little pumpkins. Framed art is also super cute for the shelving. I'm also adding this other bookshelf on the other side, but it wasn't quite the right size, and I wanted it to match the same height as the other one, so I'm using the toggle tool to adjust it. I like that this one has a door, so maybe more important books could be in there. I also just found the cutest desk from that Rococo custom content set, so I used that and added some books and sketch pads on top of there. And this is how the library turned out. We have these big bookshelves all the way along the wall. There's some cozy seating in here, a cute spot to read and study. And while I was working on the living room, I found this absolute monstrosity. What even is that? I never want to see that again, but I am adding a cute fireplace. I'm customizing the rug that I'm adding in the center, and in the main room overlooking the bottom floor, I just added this little living room. And that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know if you like this video, and let me know any other build suggestions you want to see in Paralives or any other game for that matter. I'm gonna work on a build tip video because I feel like I have so many to add. So if you have any tips or anything you want to learn about, let me know. And if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.